Good day and welcome back to my channel. So here we are with Serenity, and it now has had its first coat of base paint. Obviously it's just the two pieces there are just sitting there, but this is the look for it. I need to now do the detail parts on here, and then I can start painting these. It's now starting to look like Serenity, which is cool. You can see the paints or the stickers, or the tape is coming up on the engine piece, which is annoying, but you know, it's all right. Found a few places I had to go back and re-sand and do some details with, but overall I'm content with what I'm looking at here. And I had to put a cover over the windows here so that I didn't get paint all up in there. Give us a bit of a seal coat. I've covered over the windows there. You can see here, and here with tape, and then once I give it its base coat, I can go ahead and pull those off and manually or get in and start doing all the brushwork. So this is now at the point where I have a lot more to do. Now is where it just kind of gets, I don't want to say tedious, but there's, you know, a lot of detail work. It's going to be work on a small spot, just sort of spread out over the whole thing. So this is where we are at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and cut out here and start, you know, the base layers of getting some shading and things down, and then I will come back and, you know, in what will appear like a few seconds to you, and we'll see where we go. You know, I'm not sure if I'm going to start with that or this, but we'll find out when we get there. So it'll be a while of discovery for me and just like a few moments for you. So here we go. All right, so we've gotten actually a little further than it looks. Did another layer coat on the ring. I did paint this white strip black, which I will then go back in, hairy brush in metal. Done a couple pieces of shading. This is just sort of getting a feel for it, and this is really light. It's just one layer of shade, and that's all that was. And I'm looking to do that throughout the whole thing. I don't know that I want to do the whole panel of all of these, but like you can see little shapes from the different changes of angles in this, and that's what I kind of want to do going up the front. And it's just going to be a whole bunch of those in different colors. So, you know, I've actually got some work done there. Did a little bit of cleanup around here, and you can see there's a shade difference where we've gone back in, and where, you know, I say we, but you can see, you know, where I've gotten so far. But so this is kind of the meat of where I'm going. I finally have the tape pulled off of the cover here, and that's how that's going to look. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. I'm not going to shade in the recesses. I'm going to leave them white, and there's a reason. We'll get to that in a second. So if I go ahead and I drop this guy in here, I do apologize for that pump running in the background, but this is an ASMR video, so it doesn't matter as much. So we drop this guy in here, and, you know, with all the shading and everything, that'll be white like that. You know, reason being, because when it lights up, I need it to do the thing. So let me hook this up here real quick, and there we go. Come on. There. Ish. There. So that's the glow I want. Now it does point out that in here around some of these edges, I'm going to have to use shading to cover that up a little more. But that's the color I want. And that's what I want it to look like. So, you know, I've gotten that part done. But then I realized, you know, now the painting of this part is a little bit challenging. That's what I'm going into now. So I can start the shading of it, and I will. Each of these guys, right? So each of these bars, these crossbars, is going to have to be painted and light blocked, kind of what I was doing on the ring up there, because that's what that looks like when it's lit. But I also have these thrusters in place finally, and now it's time to also put on the piping, and there's a ton of piping. But here's my problem. So these are the instructions, right? These are the instructions on where the piping goes. Yeah, how well can you read that? Now I can kind of see some of it, sort of. And see, it basically says use rod to do this, so I can see where some of these go. But even sitting here trying to figure that out, I lose it in the way it's printed. So, you know, I went and printed pictures, and I printed the pictures as much for the color scheme as I did anything else. And you can see some of those, right? You can see some of the look here. But still, there's a lot of detail missing. You know, you can see a little bit there. And this is, these are taken from straight screenshots. Now this is the big damn model, the big damn replica. So that's that, you know, $3,000 or $5,000 or however many thousand dollar replica that was made by QMX. So these are going to be decent paint references, but it doesn't give me what I need. So I'm a little stuck. Had to pull out a book. Now, if you're a Firefly fan, cool book. And I'm not going to go into all this. There's a bunch of stuff in here, but really what I wanted were these. That gives me what I need. So there's a pipe. You can tell the pipe comes up here, and this pipe comes out and goes into it. Now you see all these little power conduits come out and go in. So these are the conduits that that I could not see at all in those other images, right? So, and that's actually a good picture of those. You know, you can actually see those images, or those conduits. So I flip back to here, I get another look at some of them, right? And then here. So this gives me a whole bunch of that to work from. And then there are other pictures throughout here that give me some detail to work from. Now, also, look at the landing gear, right? You know, the landing gear for the model are square and oblong. So that's actually something else to kind of dig into. So, let me see, there's another picture here. Where's that? Where is it? Here we go. Oh, come on. Past crybaby. There we go. So that's what I'm looking for. This gives me a nice up close detail of what these pipes do, and that will help me kind of do what I need to do, which is pipe these. So what I have is I have wire, and this is what I'm going to use. I have different gauges of wire, and these two look to be pretty much most of the way. This should be the smaller one for those smaller pipes that run along through here. And then this should be good for, drop that in for those. So that's what I'll be using. You know, I've got to run these to here and these to here, and this is going to take me I have to do that before I can really paint it. Essentially, I have to make the parts, paint them, then glue them in. So that's how I'm going to have to work with these. But you can see these small holes there for where the pipes need to go. So those are the power conduits that need to be created and done, and that's sort of putting a stop on any further painting. I've also got this wire here, which is another thickness that I will use. But that's kind of, I can't just keep, I can't just like, paint and then go back and put those details on. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to do this, then paint this, and then etc. But again, like I said before, the cool thing about this is I can work on that assembly separate from working on the other. So I can do some of this, then I can do some of the shading, and I can do some of the shading and let that dry, come back and do some of this. So that's kind of what's going to happen. I'm going to be working bits and piecemeal through this. Other thing I have, where I can find them if I have them, there. So the last other pieces I have are these guys, right? So these are the power cells and the other detail pieces, and the covers for the engine. So the covers for the engine, which go there, and my feeling is those are going to have to go on like last because there's no brace. They just hang open like pedals. So the pedals are going to have to go in. I'm going to have to attach those last and just let those be final details before I glue this on. These are the come on, solar cells. Thank you very much. Then I have these two guys. There's another one of these. Another one of these. Probably sitting over here. Here it is. We've got these two guys which go up front, and these hold the mounts for the other instruments and things that stick off the nose, which, those will have to be done separate and glued on last also, just because of the fragility. So that's where I am now. I'm going to go ahead and close this video down now. I actually babbled on longer than I anticipated. So we've seen where we are for the painting and sort of the detail work. So I will come back next time, in the next video, and we'll see how far we've gotten. I expect that a good chunk of that we'll be talking about working on this. But yeah, who knows? We kind of discover things as we go. So with that said, I will say thank you very much. I hope this is, sort of an entertaining watch and a build. And until next time, I'll say happy modeling.